Welcome fellow cartoonists, we've got another request here, and if you've ever wondered, and I bet you have, how do I draw a pig on snow skis? Well, here's a pretty simple way of doing it. So we're going to work on the page not too far down because you've got to fit the body on and the skis. So we're going more sort of towards the top third of the page, around about here, but it doesn't matter exactly where. And we're going to start, this is the top of the head, so it's like an arc. Do it as round as you like at this stage, it really doesn't matter, it's just, it'll make it more of your character again, so don't worry about it. Now round about here, these are going to be the ears, and we're just doing a V shape. You can make it slightly round at the bottom if you like, so a nice V shape there. Now the other end of the arc that you've made is the other ear. So we're having another V shape, okay, and those are a nice easy way of drawing these ears. So we're going to make a line across the top here. We're not going to join it up to that other line, we're going to start here, just go over that other line, just miss it a little bit, okay. It just gives that little 3D look that we like to do, okay. So we're just going past there, leaving a tiny gap if you can. And then we'll just close, that's the back of the ear that we can't really see, we'll be shading that in later. So we've got the top of the head and the ears now, so a nice big U shape, and it doesn't matter how big, how long, it doesn't matter, just a nice round U shape, okay. And that is the bottom of the face, the bottom of the head. There's the top, there's the bottom. So I hope you're doing okay so far. Round about here we've got another O shape, but it's more oval. So watch how I do this. I'm making an oval shape. That is going to be the nose of the pig. So a nice oval O shape. And inside there we need a couple of nostrils, okay? A couple of nostrils there. So again, oval O shapes, but oval the other way, standing up a little bit this time, and that gives nice cartoony nostrils. And we can shade those in later, we can just add a bit of 3D. Now what I've done here, I've done a few faces just to show you. You can just have normalized. I made one a little bit bigger than the other here, just a bit of variation. This one I'm going to make it look angry or determined, whichever you'd like to call it, so like a V shape for the eyebrows, and they're really close together, mean little eyes, again shiny. Always leave that little shine, it gives them again that 3D effect. This one is a little bit more cute looking because of the eyes are wide apart. You can make the eyes bigger if you like. If you don't like drawing these small eyes, you can go back to our cartoon eyes, but I think it just gives the pig a nice look. This is like a straight eyebrow with two eyes just sitting underneath that, like semicircles underneath. All you need for a mouth is that, a little line either going up, going down, a little circle with a lip underneath, or make it angry. You can choose whichever mood that snow skiing pig is in. So there are some variations. This is back to my main cartoon, and you can get back to yours. Don't worry if you get behind, because it's difficult watching me and drawing this at the same time. It's easy to miss something, so don't worry if you have to pause it. There's no problem at all. Now I've just done my regular shiny eyes and little smiley mouth, and he's ready to go skiing. You can put some tufts of hair on the top, little bristles, but I'm going to wait a minute because I'm not sure if it's going to be wearing a ski hat with a bobble on the end. Putting some eyebrows on there, which again helps with the expression. Now this isn't quite the body yet, we're seeing some of it, but this is more the arm, because it's going to be holding the ski pole. The hands are going to be holding the ski pole, so I'm doing like a C shape. It's a curve. We're not really getting much of an elbow there because it's we're getting some nice rounded shapes. So that is the outside of the arm. We're going to do the back of the pig in a minute, but for now this is like the wrist, or I suppose it's the ankle, but it's on the forearm. So just put a couple of little U shapes there, and then the trotter on the end. They're usually in twos, these trotters. Usually sort of got two toes, but you only see one because we're looking sort of head on. And that's me getting away from drawing too much detail. That's a little line for the forearm there. So if you've got something like that, that is the arm of the pig. We're going to work on the body next, starting off at the back here, just by the bend in the arm. So that is the back end of the pig. We're going to put a curly tail on there in a minute. So going from the head around about here, just by the nose, a little bit past its nose, that's its tummy, chest and tummy coming down. So they're not meeting up those lines, but they're sort of building up the shape of that pig's body. All we're drawing for the other trotter is that, just a little lump. That's all you need. Again, we're saving a bit of a drawing there, but it's still, you can tell it's the arm just by its position, but it's hidden by the body. Here is a ski pole. Okay, now we don't have to go on it over any lines here because the ski pole is hidden behind its arm. So you've not got it wrong there. We're now going to put a line from there to the back of its arm, and if you can do a couple close together, see how steady your hand is, that is the ski pole. Just close that end off, and a little circle at the end. And we've got these like little frameworks on the end of the ski poles, stop it digging too far into the snow, and a little point on the end. So same again here, that pole, this next pole is going to be going right behind the pig. You hardly see any of it, so we'll just do a couple of lines going up to the head, but make sure it's going to line up something like with that front hand or trotter. Again, put the circle and the spike on the end for digging in that snow. So we've got the rough shape of the body here. Again, doesn't matter if it's not exactly the same. If it looks a bit funny, yours, that's good. We want it to look funny. So there is like the hip of the pig, and there is the tummy. So you've got something like, now here we're having, if you can make it so they're round about level, those two sort of match up with each other. We'll put a little elbow or backwards knee, whatever you call it, little joint there on the back, and a couple of lines tapering down, so wider at the top and narrower at the bottom. And on the end, we're just going to close that off with a little line. It's got quite short legs, doesn't matter if yours are longer than this. And it's going to be wearing little boots, little ski boots. So a couple of lines going down, a little curved line, and that's like the shape of a boot. Be great to see what yours look like. Line underneath the boot, and we're getting ready for our ski. So see how steady your hand is. Again, don't use a ruler, just go for it. Doesn't matter if it's wobbly. Mine are always a little bit wobbly. See, it's already wobbled there, it doesn't matter. Just make it look cartoony. It won't look cartoony if you've used a ruler. It'll make everything else look really wobbly. So there you are. I've wobbled mine a bit. I just put it down to the speed this pig is skiing at. It's making his skis wobble. So don't worry about that. A little turn up at the end, and that just helps it glide over the snow. So our cartoons kind of make sense in a roundabout kind of way. And here's the other leg. Can hardly see any of this other leg. There are the boots again. The other boot. Very, very short part of the leg because it's all hidden by the body. So I've got away with drawing a whole leg. There's a line underneath the boot coming up, and that's ready for the ski. If they're at different angles, even if they cross over, it doesn't matter, because it looks funnier if they're in different directions. So mine, he's not doing too bad. He's keeping control of these skis quite well. Turned up at the end, and again I'll follow that line. Even if it's wobbly, I'll still follow that line. At the end, I'll just curve it up. Can you hear those rooks in the background? They're all nesting. That's what that racket is. They're all jostling for position in the nests. I'm going to put a hat on this pig's head. Well, not quite on the head. I'm doing it flying off the head. So a straight line and a curve, another curve from it, and close it off. It wouldn't fit very well, but again, that makes it look funny. You can do as long as you like this hat. Just make it a really silly hat if you like. I'm going to do it curling off into a point. As you'll see, my other line, the other bottom half of the hat, matches up to a point. So it's a really long, stupid looking hat. I'm going to finish off this bottom part, and I'll shade that in, because that's like the inside of the hat. And on the end, if you want to put a pom-pom on there, big as you like, just a load of curvy lines like we do clouds, same sort of thing. Now this could be the tricky thing, because it's the curly tail I want to put on the back. Before we do the mountains and the background, I want to do a curly tail. Now follow me on this, because this is a nice easy way of drawing a curly tail on a pig. You start from there, curve round and finish on that line. Okay, so it's like a P shape almost, like a nice rounded P shape. So underneath, you're just going to follow this line again, a parallel line. You're going to follow it along and down. Okay, so you've got like a loop, and all we do to finish it off is a little spiky line there, and you've got yourself a curly tail. And that's a really nice easy way of doing it. Just adding little details now, and I want to say hello and thank you for following the cartoon workshop to Molly, Amelia, George, Harry, Charlie, Amelia's mum, Helen, and anyone who's been following these cartoon workshops, and all the people who are trying it for the first time, who thought you couldn't draw and starting to realise you can draw pretty good cartoons. Now these are actually mountains. The one behind the pig is like what is skiing down, and this is going to be a mountain in the background. That flat line there is the bottom half of a cloud. These M shapes are the top part of the cloud. Again, if you're joining us for the first time, you'll notice we use a lot of familiar shapes. C's, U's, M's, things we're used to drawing. We're just putting them together in a different way to make a cartoon. There's the other side of the mountain coming down. You just got little craggy lines, little wobbly lines. Make them a bit sharper if you want, but that will make it look like a mountainside, especially when you come to shade it or add a little bit of colour. You don't need to use a lot of colour because it's white, of course. It's the snow. Little shadows from under the skis. So this is speeded up. Don't worry, I'm not going this fast. I wish I could, but these are just showing where to shade the darker areas, like the nostrils, the inside of the hat, the underside of that cloud, that back leg. They're all in the shadows, they're in the background. So to make sure they look in the background, add a little bit of shade under the face, maybe a little bit darker on the snout or the nose, the underside of the hat, the underside of the tummy. Have fun colouring in. Will it be pink? Will it be blue? What colour is that pig going to be? Send in your cartoons. Let's have a look. We'll feature them on our Facebook group. Just use a little bit of aqua or blue for those bits of shading on the mountains. It will look like snow. So send some comments in. Leave your comments. Let me know if you've got any suggestions, what you'd like me to draw. If you enjoyed the workshop, just let me know you're out there and send your cartoons in, because we'd like to feature them on our Facebook group.